Ciao everyone, and welcome to the analysis of the song that ranked second in Sanremo Music Festival 2026. I'm talking about Tu mi piaci tanto by Sayf, who I already mentioned in another video because last summer he did a collab in a song we talked about. I read his name as Sayf. Apparently, it is pronounced safe. So, no big deal because apparently it's something that happens a lot. So, he doesn't mind. But this Sanremo Music Festival, I found out that safe is actually pronounced safe. So, there we go. Now, title as usual. Tu mi piaci tanto. I like you a lot. Because in Italian we have the lighter I love you, because I love you properly is ti amo. But we also have I like you, which is like, it can be like I like you as a person. So like no feeling, romantic feeling sort of situation. But it can also mean according to the context, like in this case, a lighter version of I love you. So I like you, but romantically speaking. Okay. Now, meaning of the song. As I mentioned also for Sal da Vinci, he was invited, like all the singers are invited in December when the singers are announced for the participation in Sanremo Music Festival, and each one of them explains a bit the concept behind the song. So, what did Save said? The song isn't dedicated to just one person because, of course, this song seems, if you don't pay a lot of attention, if you don't pay much attention, it seems like another love song. However, if you listen closely, it's not much of a love song. We are going to see it in a moment. So, of course, the host asked him, is it like to whom is this dedicated? And of course, Safer replied, this isn't dedicated to just one person, it's dedicated to many people. The truth is, like all the songs I write, I like to think of them as photographs. It's a snapshot of a state of mind, of what I think, even a little bit of society in some ways. Is going to be a bit more than a little bit. We could say it's an album of emotions. Then, in another moment, he declared, because of course, not only they present the meaning of the song when they are announced as participating in Sanremo Music Festival, but also during the festival, the journalists have chances to ask questions to the singers, to the performers, to the participants. We have the issue that many questions are stupid and completely unrelated to the song. Many journalists just want the gossips or questions and whatnot on husbands, wife, boyfriends, girlfriends, and whatnot. Luckily, some journalists still ask questions about the song. So, in one of these occasions, he said, "Tu mi piaci tanto" is like the other songs I write. I like to think of it as a snapshot of the moment. So, like this recurring theme. And so it captures a bit of everything around it, both personally and more socially. Love is also there because love is a constant, but not just an end to it in itself. So it's not just the average love song. Love is not the point. It's one of the points, but rather used to describe. So love in this case is not the point, is more like a mean. Then, what did Lorenzo Coveri said about this song? Good things. Good things. This song, lyrics wise, received a very good grade. In fact, we are going to talk about 7 out of 10, so good grade. These are, in fact, bitter reflections on today's society, which prioritize money and success. There's no shortage of almost journalistic references to social and political reality, with intertextual excursions of a pop flavor. So, Keep in mind that the higher grade Lorenzo Coveri gave for assigned for the Sanremo Music Festival was 7.70, and he assigned this grade. He graded so high only 3 lyrics out of 30. And so A7, mainly considering the young age of Sayf, it's a lot. In fact, a couple of notes on the author, like yesterday. Sayf real name is not Sayf, is this is his second name. His whole name is Adam Sayf Viakava. He is 26, his mother is Tunisian, and his father is Italian, specifically from Genoa. And in fact, during the festival, they joked about the fact that he came from around Sanremo, because he lived in a city not nearby, but in the same region, in the same zone of the region. So, that said, let's check the lyrics, because the juice of this song is in the lyrics. In fact, in the final thoughts, in the final commentary, I won't have much to say because the juice is in the lyrics. So, here we have verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus, again, then a bridge, then chorus and post-chorus. The verses are very long and have a lot to say. Tu, figlio di un muratore, l'Emilia che si allaga e la Liguria pure. E intanto che si ride e che si fa l'amore, le tue tasse vanno spese in un hotel a ore. You, son of a bricklayer, Emilia floating, and Liguria too. And while we laugh and make love, your taxes are being spent in a motel. What a start in it. So, we start a little with the subject, at least of this section, but one might say the whole song, because yes, we're talking about son of a bricklayer, but what does this person represent? This person represents the average Italian. Not a politician, not a rich guy, just a normal person doing an average job. The standard taxpayer, okay, the standard contributor to the society. So we have the average Italian, so the normal person. What is this person living? This person is living a situation where taxes are paid, a lot of taxes, by the way, because taxes in Italy are very high. And where are the money going? Not well spent, because we have Emilia and Liguria mentioned. These are two regions. Liguria is where Sanremo is, in the lower part of the northwest, the little region built as an arc, staying on the sea, below Piemonte. And then Emilia, so the center region separating a bit the north and the center of Italy, is the final part of the upper part of the boot, okay? Which are getting flooded, because Emilia and Liguria are having still nowadays a lot of issues, because due to climate change, we are having a lot of floods. In Italian, alluvione, singular, alluvioni, plural, which is, fun fact, a noun often thought as masculine, but it is feminine, because it's l'alluvione, as in la alluvione, and le alluvioni. Fun fact. Now, so these taxes are not spent for what they are needed. So, to protect the citizens, in this example, to avoid floatings, okay? Like we are talking about very bad floatings where people die. No, it's not only property damage, which is already a problem because you are making people's life much harder. You are making people losing everything, their houses, the place where they live, their normal life, but also their life altogether. So we have this issue. So a little bit an example taking to represent the issues, the real issues we have in Italy, the ones that should be the recipient of the taxes, like the goal, the things to fix with the taxes. And we laugh, we make love, and in all of this, where are the money paid in taxes? In a motel. What does it mean? This is a reference to the politician spending their taxes on personal businesses. Here, hotel allora, I translated, is in a motel. In some cases, it's translated in a no-tell hotel. So all those cheap hotels where you go like to cheat on your wife, to go with prostitutes and whatnot. This is the reference. So the whole point, subject, you, normal person, average person in Italy, paying the taxes, are seeing your country going down, being ruined, nothing is happening, nothing is being fixed because your taxes are being spent by politicians who prefer spending your taxes on prostitutes than actually solving the issues. This is the start, and it is a very strong start. Then we have the second section. Io, amando a modo mio, ho sbagliato tante cose e tante mode non le seguo. Io, amando a modo mio, avrei voluto darti meno cuore, amore mio. Me, loving in my own way, I made many mistakes and I don't follow many trends. Me, loving in my own way, I would have liked to give you less heart, my love. Now, here is a love, but not a healthy, nice, good love. Why? So, first of all, we have the anaphora of io amando a modo mio, me loving in my own way, which becomes a little bit central in this section. And then we have a chiasm. So basically, when you have a structure of a sentence where you mirror the construction of the second and of the first and the second part. Here we have verb object. So ho sbagliato implied the subject io. I made mistakes because literally would be I did wrong many things and many trends. I don't follow them. So we have verb, object, object, verb. So I'm doing the things my way. Many of these are like I made mistakes about them. I did them wrong. And I also missed, but also voluntarily skipped many trends. So I'm not like the others, but not in a pick-me way. In like, I just do things differently. And then why am I saying that this love is not the happiest? Because he says, avrei voluto darti meno cuore, amore mio. I would have liked to give you less heart, my love. So I would have loved to, I would have liked to give you less love. Probably because, I don't know, the other person wasn't happy with it. And anyway, something went wrong. And then we have another section. As I said, these verses are very long. E allora, corri contro il tempo, che il denaro non ti aspetta. E cosa vuoi che sia la fretta su una macchina che scheggia? And then race against time because money doesn't wait for you. And what do you want to rush what do you want the rush to be on a fast car? Now, little note, scheggia can mean the splinter, so like the piece of wood, things like that, but also a lining. In this case, we have the verb, so scheggiare. Scheggiare normally would mean to make into splinters, so to chip. In this case, however, it references the other meaning of scheggia, which is lining, so something that goes fast, like would be like a car that runs very fast, like a lining. Now, as we said at the beginning, in the analysis of Lorenzo Coveri, there are several hints at a criticism to a society where success, money, and whatnot are privileged. Privilege as in they are the main focus. Now, here we have a hint to that mentality where you're always late, you have to do more, you have no time, you have to be faster because money doesn't wait for you. But on the other side, because here we have the two sides, the one chasing the money, chasing the success, but probably coming from a situation where they had to keep chasing because they don't have generational wealth. And then on the other side, probably this is hinting to those having generational health because they don't have to chase, they are not running out of time because they already have the car that goes fast. So here a little bit of a metaphor for those already having the means. So they are already going faster than others by default. In the video, we are seeing a lady on a cyclette, so like on a training bike. I don't know how it's called, but like the fake bike you find in gyms and whatnot. And we have a little bit the representation between the person who's trying to chase with a bicycle, someone with a sports car, where the person with a bicycle is the person who starts from scratch without the generational wealth built, and the person with the generational wealth going by default faster, not struggling by default. And then we have the last section of this first verse. E non mi vedrai alla finestra a farti una serenata perché il mondo non si ferma, ma non ho fiato più, rallenta. Normally the construction here would be ma non ho più fiato. Here he swapped. Now, and you won't see me at the window to serenade you because the world doesn't stop. But I can't breathe anymore. Slow down. So we keep having this reference to a world that goes too fast, doesn't let you breathe, where you don't have time for the things which really mean. In this case, love. So you are running so much, the world is going so fast that you don't even have time to see me serenading you at the window. So this world goes so fast, you don't even have time for my love, sort of situation. And here is very, very well played because at this point when he says, but I can't breathe anymore, slow down, the music slow downs and keep being slowed in the pre-chorus. Quando si spegne la luce, tu con chi rimani? Ti senti a posto col tuo vino rosso, il nome su un bossolo? When the light goes out, you, who are you staying with? Do you feel okay with your red wine, the name on a shell casing? Here, the interpretation can be like you can have several interpretations of this bit. So, when the light goes out, so at night, when you have to rest, when you are more vulnerable, when you are tired, at the end of the day, who's left? Who is with you? Are you okay to having with you just a glass of red wine and the name on a shell casing? Now, having the name on a shell casing, avere il nome su un bossolo, so like of a bullet, means that someone wants to harm you, okay? Because it's a metaphor to say these bullet is for you. So here, generally, it's something that happens to people involved in crimes. I don't think that Sayf here is like either he's speaking generally about ideally a person, or if he's dedicating this to a real person, because later on he explained that he had a person in mind while writing this song. This person is his current girlfriend, but this current girlfriend is like a normal person, so I don't think his girlfriend is a mafia boss. So in this case, it could simply mean that someone is hating the person he's speaking to. So the idea is, are you okay by being alone by yourself, hated by people, without love in your life, with not wanting anybody on your side? This is the way I see it. And then we have the chorus where he repeats for 2 times, tu mi piaci, tu mi piaci, tu mi piaci tanto. I like you, I like you, I like you a lot. Where all the things said in the verse and in pre-chorus a little bit end. So like everything said before, all the problems get solved in I like you a lot. So in all this group of negative things and problems, my love for you is a little bit the solution. This is how I understood it. Then we have the post-chorus. Noi siamo tutti uguali al bar e a lavorare. Figli di nostra madre, vogliamo solo amare. E in questa avidità e in questo dimostrare, tu mi piaci tanto. We are all the same at the bar and working. Our mother's children, we just want to love. And in this greed and in this demonstrating, as in need to demonstrate something to others, to show off, I like you a lot. Now, Sayf said that for him, the concept of equality is very important. And here, what he's saying, we are all the same when we are having fun, when we are taking a break, when we have a moment of leisure, and when we are working. So while working and while not working, we have a little bit this contraposition, this antithesis. We are all children of our mother, and we all want the same thing, to love, and probably implied to be loved. And in all these problems, which are summarized in greed and need to show off. So in this very capitalistic society where the whole point is getting money and showing off that you have money, in this big problem, you are my solution. You are or at least you are the positive thing in this problem. And the solution and the positive thing is that I like you. I like you a lot. And then we have the second verse, the other big section about the problems of this country, as in Italy. L'Italia, per me, è quella grande azione di Cannavaro. L'Italia è tristemente nota per qualche fatto, ma minimizziamo. Italy, for me, is that great action by Cannavaro. Italy is sadly notorious for some reason, but let's minimize it, like, let's not talk about it. So, what are these two things making Italy famous? Football or soccer. And this great action by Cannavaro is a reference to the 2006 World Cup semi-final held in Germany, in which Italy defeated the German national team, 2 points for Italy, 0 for Germany. The passage specifically references the move that led the second Azzurri goal. The Azzurri are the national teams from Italy, because Azzurro is the color of our national. A move that began with a bold recovery by defender Fabio Cannavaro, one of the soccer players, one of the football players, and culminated in the goal that effectively sealed Italy's qualification for the World Cup final, which in the end was won. And in fact, people in Italy still mention as like one of the greatest moments in the history of the Italian Republic, put on the same level of historical importance as the foundation of Rome, when we won the football soccer World Cup in 2006, and when we did the same thing in the 1981. I don't know, just check on internet. I'm not very good at soccer and football knowledge, so, but yeah, like, we won one time in the 2006 and another time in the 80s. It's still, like, again, like, same historical important as the foundation of Rome and the birth of the Republic. And what is the other sadly notorious reason, like, for some events which are notorious? Chances are here the references to mafia, because around the world there are many countries still romanticizing a lot mafia, while for us it is a real cancer that sadly it has spread and still is spreading around the world. And this minimizing it, probably it doesn't really come much from Italy. There is still big portion of Italy trying to ignore the problem, and that's a problem, but also from, sorry, I escaped the cat. But also from other countries, because there are many countries denying the fact that mafia spread to them as well. So it's a bit complex situation. Il cielo è azzurro e il pomeriggio, se ci armate, noi non partiamo. E come ha detto un imprenditore, l'Italia è il paese che amo. The sky is blue, and the afternoon, if you arm us, we don't leave. And as one entrepreneur said, Italy is the country I love. And here, in 4 lines, we have so many references that I don't even know where to start. Okay. Let's start from the easiest. Il cielo azzurro è il pomeriggio. This is a reference to Azzurro by Adriano Celentano, where the song says azzurro, il pomeriggio è sempre azzurro. Then this is also a reference to what was said when we won. I don't remember. Is something related? Maybe I have it in the notes. Because it's related to soccer and football. Hi, Rumi. Thanks for saying hi. So, I was saying we qualified for the World Cup final. I don't remember if it was the same. Yeah. So, il cielo è azzurro refers to the azzurri, the national team I was speaking of earlier, but also to the famous commentary of the 2006, where we said, where the commentator said, il cielo è azzurro sopra Berlino. The sky is blue above Berlin, because we won there. So, it is referencing the previous section. Then, so we have azzurro, the song, we have the reference to the previous verse, and then we have il pomeriggio, se ci armate noi non partiamo. In the afternoon, if you arm us, we won't leave, we are not going, okay? Now, what he stated, because as I said, luckily there are still some journalists asking questions during Sanremo Music Festival about the songs. So what Sayf said is, my invitation is to become aware in all those intermediate stages to prevent the chain of continuing, because the question was, are you against war? And he said, of course I am against war, but here specifically I am pointing out that every time an order, he was saying, to kill a person, for example, is given, you have to go through a whole chain of people before the order is executed. My point is to make people aware that you need one person breaking the chain of command to avoid the killing or the order hurting someone else to be executed. Okay? That's why, se ci armate, noi non partiamo. If you arm us, we won't leave. And this is the breaking the chain of command to avoid war. Here, the idea is that if all the leader gave the order to go and fight into a war, but all the people refuse to leave, without people you can't fight a war. That's pretty much the concept. And probably this is by an hypothesis by Lorenzo Goveri. It might be a reference to a portion of a poem attributed to the poet Olindo Guerrini, where he was saying armiamoci e partite. So, let's arm ourselves and you leave. Here we have the inversion of the terms. Sorry. And then we have, e come ha detto un imprenditore, l'Italia è il paese che amo. And as one entrepreneur said, Italy is the country I love. Now, here is clearly, without any doubt, a reference to Berlusconi, one of the most famous politicians in Italy, not for good things, however. So, how can we be so sure? Because it is also made clear in the video. That's why I always suggest to listen to the song, but also pay attention to the video, because many things appear more clear after watching the video. So, the phrase Italy is the country I love is the opening line of the speech broadcast on all nation new programs with which entrepreneur Silvio Berlusconi on January 26, 1994 formally announced his entry into politics and the creation of his own party, Forza Italia, which translates as let's go Italy. The general elections held 2 months later saw Berlusconi win this is confirmed in the videos I was saying, because Sayf recreates exactly the same scene, putting himself instead of Berlusconi while he sings this part of the song. And then you're saying why this person, this Italian politician, is included in one of these issues, because all of these are issues. The fact that we focus too much on football, the fact that by focusing too much on things which don't matter, like football and soccer, we are minimizing serious things happening. For example, mafia. Hi, Rumi. Yes, this is very bad, isn't it? Oh, this Miu Miu. This Miu Miu came to reinforce my point. So, we are focusing on things not really important, minimizing things we should focus on. The other problem is, for example, war. And now why Berlusconi? Berlusconi was always, now he's dead, but when he was alive, and like the consequences of his actions still have consequence nowadays, he was always very controversial because he was put on trial for several reasons. He was always suspected to be in agreement with the mafia. In fact, the thing that we have mafia mentioned in the second part of this first section, and then in the same position, in the same section, we have mentioned Berlusconi, even if indirectly, probably because Sayf wanted to avoid to be brought to trial due to defamation, despite Sayf being absolutely right in his criticism. He was always suspected of being not part but associated to mafia. Probably 'ndrangheta, so the mafia organization from Calabria, because we have several types of mafia organization and generally organized crime. So, but the issue was so powerful and he had so much money that the judges never managed to gather the needed evidence to prove that he was guilty. But not because he was, chances are, innocent, most likely because he was very good to make the proofs disappearing. What was the theory? Him taking money from 'ndrangheta to build his empire, his entrepreneurial empire, and then using his money to influence and direct votes, because some of the main channels back in the days, mainly in the 90s, I wasn't even born. What were the choices? The national TV or the my cat is a silly the national TV or private channels. We didn't have many private channels back in the days, and basically this guy had the whole monopoly on the private channels. So it was either public television or his television. I think you can understand how powerful this can be, like having so much control on media when you are also running and then being elected as a politician, because then shaping the information is easy, because once you are in politics you have a lot of influence of on public television. Then the only other option is your private television channels, so you basically have a monopoly on media, of course. And this always related to the fact that having so much money also means having so much power. Then we have Amore, amore mio, che paura di venir capito. In questa fase di tirocinio tengo è morto qui vicino. And this is much more important than you might think, but it's also true that you need some background on this. Love my love, what a fear, I'm so scared of being understood. At this stage of internship, Tenko died near here. Now, what is the point until here? Sayf is very young, given that, okay, he's not 19, but still quite young. He's not as successful. It's the first time at the Sanremo Music Festival. He's saying very controversial things. So why I am so scared of being understood? Because the critique he's doing against the government is and politicians and the upper class and the class detaining power is quite heavy. And in questa fase di tirocinio, at this stage, in this phase of internship, so he is almost famous, but he's not like internationally famous, very famous. He's not a star yet. He's going there. So it's like, I'm a bit scared because if people, the wrong people take badly what I said, I am ruined. I'm not going to make it. And in fact, he says, Tenko è morto qui vicino. Tenko died near here. Who is Tenko? This is a reference to Luigi Tenco, a famous Italian songwriter who died. Suspect suicide because still nowadays it was ruled as suicide. So the official version is suicide. But for a long time it wasn't clear if he was killed or if he really killed himself. And he died during the Sanremo Music Festival of 1967. And it's still a taboo. This thing is not really talked about. It's clear that Sanremo doesn't want to talk about it because of the circumstances this happened. He's not the only person who died during an edition of Sanremo Music Festival, but the way he died was very suspicious. And still nowadays, his death is very much talked about, like something ambiguous, not clear. People are really not sure what happened and why he died. Non temere, amore mio, farò meglio per nostro figlio, schiaccerò quelli degli altri, così giocherà da solo. Don't be afraid, my love, I will do better for our son. So until here, okay. What is the problem? I will crush those of others, so he will play alone. This is a reference we are having this is a reference to an issue we are having in many countries, where parents are projecting their expectation, their fulfillment in life on children. So children are not pushed to have friendship and live a serene, nice life, but always in competition with other children. And if the other children are doing better than my child, I'm going to sabotage them, sort of situation. So this is something that is happening. Sadly, it is a big issue. We reach the point where we have parents during, for example, competitions, sport competition, going towards children competing in this competition and beating them. We had several cases of football, soccer matches where parents go in the field and beat up children for being better than their child or for like having accidents and whatnot. So, a problem. We can agree on that. Now, we have a pre-chorus, once again, which is the same, the chorus, which is the same, the post-chorus, which is the same, and then we have a bridge. Ho fatto una canzonetta e un fiore su una camionetta e le botte delle piazze le dimentichiamo. I made a little song. It's a flower on a van and beatings in the squares. We forget them, sorry. Other problems. Ho fatto una canzonetta. I made a little song. Reference to Sono solo canzonette by Edoardo Bennato, which this song, Sono solo canzonette, was a song expressing a rebellious and satirical attitude towards social norms and traditional expectation. That's why the reference, because this song is doing a little bit the same thing. So the whole point of the song is like, it's just a little song, don't get mad, like, don't harass me. And here Sayf is pretty much saying the same thing. In fact, he says, è un fiore su una camionetta. It is a flower on a van. What are in Italian usually the camionette? The police vans. So what he's saying probably is, I am not the strong side of the story, okay? This song is just a flower on a police van. I am not actively hurting you. My point is not to hurt you, is to point out issues which should be solved, but I am for peace. So this whole song can be summarized in this metaphor about putting a flower on a police van. Police van that then is connected to the next reference, to the next problem, which is the beatings in the squares. The beatings of who? Of police towards people manifesting. So, this is a reference to social unrest, protest, sometimes police brutality in Italian history, very famous case, the G8 in Genoa, or even more recent, students, and I am talking about, and I mentioned it last year, if I remember correctly, I am talking about students not armed from high school, so objectively innocuous, not able to cause much damage, being beaten up. I'm talking about students, minors being sent to the hospital because they were beaten, they were clamped up in a side street, not even the Spartans at the Thermopolis. So imagine armed police force blocking children in a fucking little side street and beating them up. I don't know how to stress enough the fact that there were minors, they were students, they were unarmed, and they got beaten up, and some of them went to the hospital. I don't know how to make the problem more clear than that. It was very talked about, now people apparently forgot about it. But recently the police got beaten in the squares, so I think we went even. Anyway, then we have the second section of the bridge with the repetition. Ho fatto una canzonetta, spero che non vi spaventi, che possiamo ripartire tutti a mano. I made a little song, I hope it doesn't scare you, that we can start again, all hand in hand. So once again, what is he saying? He's saying, my point is not to attack you, is not to scare you, is pointing out issues, hoping they are going to be solved so we can keep going together. My point is not to divide. My point is to bring people together against the problem. It's not me against you, it's us against the problem. Pretty much that's the summary of the intent of Sayf. Now, a mano it can have double meaning in Italian, because a mano we saw this expression other times in other songs. It is a repetition, like piano piano, vicino vicino. When we repeat 2 times the same expression in Italian, in some situation like this one, it is to increase the meaning, to intensify the meaning. So in a mano means bit by bit, okay? So we can start together solving the issues bit by bit, but also it can reference mano nella mano, so hand in hand. So the whole double meaning in one meaning can be we can solve the issue bit by bit, hand in hand. So all together. We can take our time, we can do it together, that's the point, but my goal is to solve the issue. Then we have once again the chorus and once again the post-chorus. They are exactly the same, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but because the whole point of the structure of the song is we have all these issues, I am mentioning them, but in the end we are all equal. Love is the answer, okay, is the solution, and we can start from there to solve the issues. Now, a couple of notes on Sayf. We didn't have much drama. Of course, we have usual drama about, oh my god, these trappers, and he's only half Italian, but that sadly is always there. Luckily, we didn't have much of that, or at least I didn't see much of that on the social media. It's also true that my algorithms are well trained, so I might be wrong, but at least from my point of view, we had a little bit less drama considering this. Fun fact, many people said, oh, Sayf should have won the Sanremo Music Festival. I would have been happy. Like, if I have to take the top 4, in the top 3, let's say, but also top 4, they could have won for me. Like, I wouldn't, like, the top 4 are all good songs. So it's true that with the rules of last year, because the rules change every year, Sayf would have won. Sedge. Now, as I was saying in the introduction, he wrote these, at least the part about Tu mi piaci tanto, so the aim of his love to Bianca Genovese, his current girlfriend. But again, the song is much more than just a love song dedicated to a person. His love and his experience, his love towards this person is just the mean to convey the concept of the song that I explained. That said, one little issue that I can think, because the song is well built, the lyrics is very interesting, the music is very good, he's a very good performer, it's clear from how good he is to hold the scene. We saw it very well during cover night, he was amazing. In fact, I really recommend checking out his performance in cover night. It was incredible. The only issue I can see is that the important part, so the verses, are a little bit rushed. He had a lot to say in the verses. I also discussed this with other friends who don't speak Italian to see also their point of view, but it's something we noticed, me and Alex noticed as well while watching the performances during the Sanremo Music Festival. The core parts, so like the verses, were felt a little bit rushed, and it makes sense because it was the first time of Sayf on the stage of Sanremo Music Festival. As I said, he's still young, so his inexperience probably made him a bit anxious, and so the core part felt a bit rushed. When I watched the video, the official video, like the quality improved a lot. However, the performances were very good. The only issue is that you have to listen to the song a couple of times and think about what you are listening to, because there are many subtle references and you have to look for them. So it's not that easy. Now, I don't have anything more to say. I know this video is going to be a little bit longer because there were many things to say as I showed you in the verses. The author had many issues to point out. That said, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Tu mi piaci tanto by Sayf. That said, grazie everyone for watching and arrivederci.